Final on our hands. Will try the shot. Oh, what a goal from Steph Moreton. To the point. Plays the back of the net. Tonight is the night a champion will be defined. Moreton City Excelsior return to the big time with redemption in their sights, whilst Lions eye off a record fourth in their quest to be once again crowned kings. Good evening and welcome to the 2024 National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final, coming to you from the House of Sporting Sanctity, Suncorp Stadium. Exclusive, live and free on FQTV. I'm joined by James Coughlin in the commentary box. James, we have an exciting night ahead.
We certainly do, Josh. Moreton City chasing their first grand final win under this banner. Lions, well, sort of like the women's team, they are specialists at this time of year. And it's going to be a fantastic game on our hands. One that we actually saw not that long ago. Actually, I think it was only 2 weeks ago.
That's exactly right. And this is our second time at Suncorp Stadium. We've had 7 different National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final venues. Goodwin Park kicked it off in 2013. Perry Park has hosted the occasion on 5 times, and tonight we are back at the best theatre in the world, some would say, Suncorp Stadium, as we gear up for kick-off. And the crowd is slowly building in what shapes to be a fantastic night ahead. 90 minutes to decide the winner of the National Premier League's Queensland champion. And both sides caught up with FQTV during the week to share their thoughts ahead of tonight.
We have some unfinished business at Suncorp. We want to go win the trophy. This year it's going to take, everyone working hard, but listening to Cammy as well. We all trust in the coach and what we're going to do, and we all trust each other in terms of going out there and doing the business this year. I think we had a really good year. Obviously our goals were to win the league, and so we've fallen short there. Obviously Cammy set us some goals at the start of the year, which was to win everything essentially. We wanted to win it all, but now we're just looking to advance on our other goals, win a trophy. Obviously we fell short a couple of weeks ago in the Kappa Pro Series and the other Queensland Cup, so yeah, we're looking to definitely win a trophy this year. All the boys just think it's unfinished business. They went there last year, it was a great experience for them all. They want to go out there and win. Last year it was all amazing seeing all the community there. The whole side of the stadium was all yellow. I was part of that last year, funnily enough. So it's amazing to go out there, and it's a dream for a lot of the boys. Obviously most of them played last year, but for me in particular it's a dream to go out and play Suncorp. You're a little kid and you're sitting in the stadium watching the Raw when you're younger, and it's an amazing experience just to go out there and be the ones playing, and we want to go out and win. We don't want to be there just for the experience. We want to be there and win, and then have that memory for the rest of our lives.
We'll stick to our principles in play, with the ball and without the ball. Finals are tough games and they're different beasts, so it's a matter of rocking up on the day and making sure that you get the 1%ers done well, and then you can get yourself over the line. Yeah, we've mentioned the whole season, it's all about creating memories. I've been fortunate to be a part of 2 successful grand final games before, and when you get to look back with your friends and the boys that you've worked really hard with to achieve those goals, they're the best times. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the boys create memories in front of their friends and families, and hopefully bring the club some more success on the back of the 2 trophies we've already won this year. Look, I'm fortunate I get to work with a lot of the boys and girls in all the juniors at the club, so to see all the familiar faces and friends and family would be a really big boost, I know, for both the boys and girls on Saturday night.
Fantastic to hear from Zach Hearpal and Jake Minette ahead of tonight. And Premier success, the National Premier League's Queensland Premiers have gone on to win the championship 5 times. It was in season 2013, 14, 15 2018, and of course last year in 2023. This will be the 7th time in 12 seasons the Premiers won't feature in the grand final. But we have two blockbuster teams taking shape. James Coughlin, initial thoughts coming here this evening?
Well, it's strange because these sides met 2 weeks ago in the Queensland Cup final. Lions were just dominant on the night as well, eventual 3-0 winners. Moreton City, they've got that double revenge, redemption, whatever R word you want to use to describe their motivation tonight, but I feel like they've got a lot to play for, and I wonder if Moreton City might come into the game a little bit tense, whereas Lions are the big game specialists.
So just for some context ahead of tonight, the ladder finished as so. Gold Coast Knights finished on top of the tree, 58 points, a remarkable season, even by their standards, outdoing their 2023 performance in a number of areas. They claimed the premiership by some distance in the end. Moreton City Excelsior finishing second, 15 wins, 4 draws, 3 losses, Peninsula Power in the top 4, and Lions finishing 4th. They did make it by some margin, but they did just scrape in to a degree, and they line up for another grand final appearance. They have so much experience when it comes to this day in September.
They do, and look, it's a historic players that all have performed on the big stage as well. You look at the names, Pengelly, and even Cardiff Pond, he came up in the Pro Series Grand Final, and the man you saw before, Jake Bullock, Minute.
So we're just waiting for both sides to set themselves upon entrance to Suncorp Stadium. We've already had 3 grand finals take place. It was a classic in the FQPL 1 men's, going all the way to extra time. Gold Coast Knights defeated North Lakes United. That was the FQPL 1 women's match. That kicked off at 1:45 p.m. this afternoon. And Brisbane City with a last gasp winner against Lions FC in the National Premier League's women's competition. That was a fantastic match. If we get anything like that final 5 minutes, or rather 10 tonight, we're in for something special.
Yeah, look, it's been a great day. I've been here since about 10 o'clock, and what better way to spend a Saturday because we've had some fantastic football, and I hope it ends on an equally high note than what we just saw in the NPL Women's Grand Final, because it has all the makings of it as well. It was dramatic ending to last year's NPL Men's Grand Final, and look, the hype is real for this fixture.
The scenes around Suncorp Stadium as the crowd is beginning to lift. We saw an exceptional grand final last year. Gold Coast Knights 1-0 victors over Moreton Bay United, now known as Moreton City Excelsior.
It's the amalgamated club.
The main event has arrived. Suncorp Stadium is the stage. Saturday the 7th of September hosts the showpiece spectacle. Who will deliver on this day? Who will be crowned champions? We are oh so close to kick off, James Coughlin, as we will take a look at how either side line up tonight, starting with Moreton City Excelsior. Nathan Foster in goals. Declan Smith wears the armband. Chris Marr starts. Some big news surrounding Damon Anderson and Emran Donnelly-Fagan.
Yeah, well, both of those players set to miss. We saw Anderson injure his shoulder in the semi-final as well, and neither are able to go. Kei Kojima, the guy who started the season with Gold Coast Knights, he is going to start, I would presume, at right back. So a couple of enforced changes for Cam Miller, but nothing new than what he's been dealing with in big games so far.
And as for Lions FC, managed by Darren Syme, Sean Carlos gets the nod. Josh Brindle South will line up in the back line. Tommy Jarrett, the experience to start, he will be in the back line as well. And they're captained by Joe Duckworth.
Yes, well, we just saw Tommy Jarrett, the number 5 in Lions away white strip tonight, but he missed a fair chunk of the season. He was on a European holiday. Nice when you're able to just take a few months off, but he's hit the ground running, and his first game back was the match before the Queensland Cup final, and he looks like he hasn't been away for barely a second.
The pressure to perform tonight very high.
He certainly is, and the this Lions side, they know how to do it on the big stage. They've already got 2 trophies in the cabinet this year, and wouldn't they love to add a third?
So the narrative surrounding either side, Lions with all the experience, Moreton City Excelsior playing out last year's grand final, will be hoping for a better result in 2023 as both captains will meet in the middle alongside our referees for tonight, starting with our main referee. It is Tom Fell who will man the middle, James Sherry, the 2019 grand final assistant, along with Abdullah Al-Khamisi, the 2 linesmen tonight, Ziad Ahmedovich, the 2023 NPL Queensland grand final referee, the man to don the 4th official title. As we look at the individual players who will play a role tonight, who do we expect to stand out? Who will have the influence?
Well, look, I'm a big fan of Ben Holliday for Moreton City. He missed last year's final series, but he's been huge for them as this season has gone along with that presence down the left side. Meanwhile, Kez Walters, I mean, what more can you say about him? He is really good. However, both of those two are going to have a very tough matchup against a highly skilled Lions backline with Hashan Ramazani and Jackson Markfield set to play a huge role.
Lions haven't played on this deck. Moreton City Excelsior have. Anything to read into that?
It has to play a bit of an impact. Moreton City, they know their sight lines, they know the atmosphere as well. And I think this might be why Lions are just happy to sit in that huddle for a little bit longer as they prepare for kickoff.
Here we go. Weather conditions sitting at 22 degrees, a max of 29 throughout the day. Light winds easing into the evening. That is the backdrop. As Tom Fell waits for word. The 12th edition of the National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final is ready to be written. It is Moreton City Excelsior running from right to left on your screens, and it's Lions with the first attacking opportunity. Finn Beakhurst opting for James and a nap. And they'll look to build into this grand final. Of course, coming off the semi-final victory last weekend against Gold Coast Knights, it was Lions 1, Gold Coast Knights 0. Luke Broderick fouled inside the penalty area and converting to give Lions the lead and book their spot in the grand final. Moreton City Excelsior had a very different route to run. They went into extra time against Peninsula Power, that match finishing 4-3. Moreton City led 1-0 inside the 17th minute, but then Power hit the front in the 57th. Declan Smith goal cancelled out. Reece Messina sent off in extra time after putting Peninsula Power up 3-2, which changed the game as Joe Scott and Marquez Walters score within a minute of each other to win the semi-final and find themselves back here at Suncorp Stadium. Ben Holliday fouled multiple times last weekend. Plenty of attention and eyes on him when you look at opponents setting up against Moreton City Excelsior. Scored 5 goals in his last 6 National Premier League's Queensland appearances, Ben Holliday. Great to see him playing at this time of year after he missed last season in the back half due to injury. Carlos. Jarrett, so much experience at the back tonight for Lions. Tommy Jarrett has only featured in 1 out of the 3 games for Moreton City Excelsior this season. Returned to the matchday squad against Gold Coast Knights in round 22 after a long layoff throughout the year. But he has played in 2 successful grand finals for Lions back in 2020 and 2021. As the ball sits for Kearpal, has Murai as an option. Walters shuffling the pass away, and Jack Skinner picks it up. Chris Mark fouling, and the early booking. He had to give it, Tom felt. Chris Marr on a yellow card inside the opening 3 minutes. Ball delivered into the area. Beakhurst won the race. Skinner forcing the corner. And Chris Marr just having a discussion with Tom Felt, as he wasn't too impressed with the card being delivered. But in the end, Tom Felt really didn't have much of an option apart from handing out the yellow card. So the corner taken short. Lions, again, slow to build. Ramazani firing it into Declan Smith, and now Marquez Walters spotting the run of Zach Kierpout, and the pass a little too heavy. Form could be an interesting factor here tonight, as Moreton City Excelsior have 8 wins in their last 10 matches. As for Lions, they have 2 wins from 6 in all competitions coming here tonight. So drastic form guides for either side in comparison to one another. We'll now head down to Josh McLean for a word. Josh, great to have you alongside tonight.
Well, so good to be here with you, gentlemen, and what an atmosphere we've got. The stadium on this side, it's filled up, and plenty of excitement ahead of this clash. But what I can tell you, Lions FC, I sat down with a couple of their players pre-match, and they gave me a little bit of intel. First of all, Joe Duckworth, keep an eye out for him tonight. He is apparently a devout Liverpool supporter, and he says that Everton are the 3rd best team in the Premier League. Now, the fact that that is oddly specific tells me that's the world's biggest stitch-up. Also, Hassan Ramazani, he's a truck driver for a living. Wonder if he'll drive the line tonight. Josh Brindle South, how about this for some info? He gets a haircut every 3 days. Now that, if you do the maths, that's 121.66 recurring haircuts a year. So I'm pretty sure that would break anyone's bank balance. And look, Luke Borean, it is, on a serious note, his final game tonight. He's retiring. So all the best to Luke. Congratulations on a great career, guys.
Thank you very much. The eyes and ears on deck tonight. Josh McLean, as we mentioned, Luke Borean finishing up after tonight. What an impressive season it has been for the Lions goalkeeper. He starts on the bench tonight. Cardiff Pond, the man Darren Syme elects to wear the gloves to begin with at least. And now Kierpout couldn't get by Tommy Jarrett. A little bit of frustration from Zach Kierpout. He thought there was a handball at least. Tom Felt just explaining his decision. Plenty of grand final experience on both sides tonight, but especially with Lions FC. Luke Borean, 3 previous grand finals. Sean Carlos, 2 with Lions. Luke Borean's actually played in 4. He represented Moreton Bay United in the 2015 grand final against Brisbane Strikers, as he's swapped jerseys. And Chris Marr also played for Lions at one point throughout his career. That was quite some time ago now, winning a grand final with Lions, of course, now wearing Moreton City Excelsior colours, as Tatsu Kojima has some space that he looks to roam into. Kierpout offering a run. Beakhurst working very hard to win the ball back, and now Pangeli opts for Edinat. They've certainly had the better start here, Lions. In the last 17 meetings since 2014, Moreton City Excelsior 2 wins, Lions 13. There's only been 2 draws in that time, which speaks to the dominance of Lions over the years. They met twice throughout the regular season, 1 win each, and the record favouring Lions in all competitions as they won 2 games. That Capo Queensland Cup final, the difference is they walked away 3-0 victors that night. Angeli with 2, Broderick with 1 in the 93rd minute to finish things off. Wondering how much of a bearing that will have tonight. And I talked to that dominance, James. The only win for Moreton Bay United prior to the merge against Lions was on the 13th of September 2020. Moreton Bay United 2, Lions 1.
Yeah, it's been a while, and look, Lions have a pretty good record against just about every NPL opponent. Such has been their success since they entered the league back in 2018. But you know, it's the joys of one-off finals where you just have to make your own luck on nights like this. It's been an interesting tempo in this early stage as well. Walters felt like he was fouled before. Marr getting that frustration. Foul with the yellow card as well. I think he was a little bit surprised, especially. Well, I know I was surprised because we saw a fairly lenient approach in that last match, but every ref will have their different approach. But it will be interesting to see if that precedent is continued here.
Kojima pulling out a party trick for Walters. He's going to be a handful tonight, no doubt. Marquez Walters is now Holiday. Trying to bring the ball to ground. Brindle South gets underneath it. And they reload Moreton City Excelsior. Sayers trying to step away from Edinap. Tom Fell saw nothing wrong. Kojima. Murai. Sayers. Declan Smith wearing the armband, wearing the number 24 tonight. At the centre-back position, important night for him. 8th season with Moreton City Excelsior rather, was spent a lot of time with Moreton Bay United. In fact, joined the academy as an under-12 Declan Smith, and he scored the opener last weekend against Peninsula Power, only 3 goals for the year.
Going back to his days playing striker, when I first started commentating, he was actually a hybrid central defender / striker, depending on what was needed week in, week out. So he certainly settled into the heart of defence as it stands, but either way, he's very much the heart and soul and true unquestioned leader of this team.
Another man who is the heart and soul of his side, Joe Duckworth, the opposing captain tonight, played every minute apart from round 5 and round 22 against Wanderers and Wynnum Wolves in the regular season. A dedicated member who wears his heart on his sleeve, Joe Duckworth, 3-time National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final winner. Back out here tonight, that of course started with Western Pride before making the transition to Lions.
Swing the screen, number 30, Jimmy Ontiknap. Made the move from Sunshine Coast Wanderers, and just another solid player in that midfield for Lions.
Well, the day getting the rub of the green, as I mentioned, Peninsula Power were all over him last weekend. And again, he goes to ground, earning a foul.
Well, Holiday is so dangerous just in terms of what he can do. I was talking to Scott McDonald earlier this afternoon, just what he feels as a coach about some of these players. And I asked him about Holiday, and he said he's just so good with the ball at his feet, just driving it forward and making things happen. And I feel like any opposition coach would know Ben Holiday is a massive headache to deal with, but I suppose that is meant as a compliment, whereas most people describe headaches as a bad thing.
In their previous 2 league meetings, it was Lions 4, Moreton City Excelsior 2 in round 7. In round 18, it was Lions 1, Moreton 6, Excelsior 2. That's Holiday. And then we've touched on breaking free, and away it goes over the byline. It will be a Lions goal kick. In their only previous meeting in the National Premier League Queensland era in finals, Moreton Bay United / City Excelsior against Lions, was back in 2018, September the 2nd. Lions won, Moreton Bay United won. Both goals were scored in extra time. And in the end, it was penalties that decided the difference. The full-time score was 0-0, of course. Luke Borean scored the winning penalty. And Chris Marr played in that game for Lions.
I'll tell you what, if this goes to penalties, I'm not ruling out Borean being subbed on. We've got a long way to go before that becomes a reality. Over 100 minutes of football still to be played, but Borean, one of the more eccentric characters in Queensland football. It'll be a shame to lose him. He was always a very interesting interview to talk to, but who can forget the famous beanie and lollipop combination, even on the warmest of nights out at Luxury Paint Stadium.
He certainly assisted in Cardiff Pond's development in 2024. As Ramazani just making Marquez Walters known of his position on the field. Walters claiming to Tom Fell that is his first foul, and he hopes no more will ensue.
Yeah, I think that might be a little bit of a reaction to the yellow card given to Marr, perhaps from Mr. Fell, where I thought there was a bit of a cynical foul being made here, but yellow card is coming. But it is what has stood out in the Cup of Queensland Cup final not that long ago was how Lions were able to get under the skin of Moreton City with those sorts of niggly fouls. So it's going to be very interesting to see if that approach is adopted again tonight.
So Holiday with the delivery. It's Declan Smith waiting for it. Marquez Walters. Corner, Moreton City Excelsior.
And that was the end of Suncorp, where he tried that bicycle kick in stoppage time last year. It was so close. And wouldn't he love to just do something spectacular down that end again tonight?
Averaging a goal a game in 2024, Marquez Walters.
Replay, so much space for him just at the top of the box, and the Lions thankfully had enough bodies in the way to prevent anything bad from happening.
So Reece Quinn-Jones, Declan Smith again in position. Marr's delivery is a short one. And it's won back by Kojima, another free kick. And this time it's James Edenup, the culprit.
Beakhurst is the one getting spoken to.
Or rather, it was Finn Beakhurst. My apologies.
Right, another warning, no card.
So this time it's Sayers and Holiday. Will it be the left boot or the right? Sayers with the in-swinging delivery, and Cardiff Pond happy to claim. Only ever lost one finals match, Moreton Bay or Moreton City Excelsior. That was under Moreton Bay United last year. As for Lions, they've never lost a grand final. And there's a free kick going the way of Lions. A bit stop-start here. Tom Fell just keeping an eye on things.
It's going to be a tough game to officiate because of the fact that I think we're going to see quite a bit of niggle between these sides. Obviously, Lions, they have the, I suppose, age and wisdom, and I use those terms very, very loosely, but they're a little bit smarter, I feel like, with how they commit their fouls, and I think they will try and use that to their advantage, but it is going to be a very tough match to handle for our entire officiating team as well. Let's not forget the two guys on the far side will have the benches right in their ear.
So Duckworth Putting it towards the back post. Nathan Foster thought about releasing Ben Holiday. Opts to hold on to the ball. And you talk about officiating. Well, reading through the storylines in matches played so far this season between both these sides, there have been 3 penalties awarded in 3 games between these two in 2024. There could have been 2. We talk about the Joe Scott moment in the Cup of Queensland Cup final. And we also talk about Marquez Walters at Luxury Paint Stadium.
Well, yeah, that one was making the rounds on the internet as well about what could have been a penalty, but yeah, I don't think there's anything I can really say about that without getting in trouble.
And when you look at the history of penalties awarded, there have been 7 penalties awarded in the last 10 matches between these two. That is a very high number.
But it is two teams that are happy to try and use the fouls to their advantage, as though it is part of the game. And you know, like it or hate it, fouling is a part of football. It is a coaching tactic. Some use it more than others, looking at you, Jose Mourinho, but it is just a tactical asset that, if done well, and knowing what the referee's leniency will be, is just a part of the scouting that goes into it.
Here's a chance for Lions. Carlos got on the end of it. Duckworth with an enticing ball into the area. No real chances to note in the opening 20 minutes. Perhaps Marquez Walters with the best of anything. And that was deflected wide for a corner.
It's a tough part when you're playing both of these sides. They are so well drilled, and at the end of what has been a very long season for both of these clubs as well, they've just got so much time together. They know each other so well. I haven't got the exact numbers in front of me, but it feels like looking at 36, 37 games for both of these clubs across all competitions.
It has been a remarkable turnaround for Lions over the last 12 months. Finished 5th last season in the National Premier League Queensland. That is their lowest finish since entering into the competition back in 2018. They made the round of 32 in the Australia Cup, knocked out in the Cover Pro Series final, and knocked out in the NPL finals. However, this year finished 4th, so only one step better. But they already have 2 trophies to their name, and they made it one step further in the Australia Cup. So Darren Syme really turning the wheels at Richlands over the past 12 months.
And the 2 prior times they finished 4th did result in grand final wins, so some may take that as an omen.
And they are here to claim their 3rd piece of silverware out of a possible 5 for 2024. Missed out on the Premiership, and of course they knocked out the Australia Cup, but the Cover Pro Series, the 2 cups, and now this.
So we're not calling it a treble, are we?
I did ask, and I don't think we are. Rightly so, the Premiership needs to be included.
Luke Borean is happily watching on at the moment.
Lions moving the ball with a quick tempo. Ramazani, another touch for him. Brindle South. That's an out. Now Pengelly, forced backwards by Nick Bernardi. His 7th year with Moreton City Excelsior. A lot of loyalty within the ranks here at Moreton City Excelsior. Declan Smith, Zach Kearpower, Reece Bryn-Jones.
A number of those guys actually playing in their 4th grand final, and Coach Cam Miller was also part of that 2015 triumph as well.
Yeah, 3rd grand final appearance for Cam Miller. 1 as a player, 2nd as a coach tonight. Played in the 2017 GF. Played against Joe Duckworth that night.
That was a memorable night out of Briggs Road. It was bone-chillingly cold, even, well, by more than Queensland standards. There was this wind that just cut through everything, and Dylan Wenzel-Halls.
Chance. Brindle South trying to knot it forward. It is eventually dealt with by Moreton City Excelsior, but only to the extent of Finn Beekhurst. Edenap calling for it. Brindle South eventually plays him in. Skinner, very elusive. Jack Skinner just didn't catch that one, but you could see it unfolding.
And Jack Skinner, he does bring that live wire presence across the Lions' front line. Sean Carlos is never one to hesitate to pull the trigger as well. So I feel like this is going to be the next stage of tactical evolution we're going to get from Lions. So willingness to try and take those long shots and maybe force a big save out of Foster.
Talk about turnarounds. Moreton to Excelsior avoided relegation by 2 points in 2022. The following season, they finished second in the league and make a grand final. And doubling up again this year. It's been the trophy that's evaded them. And that's something that they've spoken about throughout 2024. They just want their name on a cup.
And again, I go back to our post-match discussion after the Kappa Queensland Cup final, where for Moreton City, like they are a side that has gone close over the last couple of years under Cam Miller. They've shown so much promise, and there's no questioning their quality. But they also need to get some sort of tangible reward for it as well. And it doesn't take away from what they've done so far, but it's football. You play to win trophies. And sometimes it really is a simple game.
Last 5 games for either side. The semi-final Oz Cup round of 16, the Kappa Queensland Cup final for Moreton City Excelsior. The exact same for Lions FC. For Lions, 6 of the last 9 matches have been a knockout or a final, including tonight. Starting with the Kappa Pro Series final where they defeated Gold Coast United 3-2.
Advantage after Pengelly caught Smith late.
Sayers, captain for Bernardes. Able to find a bit of rhythm here, Moreton City Excelsior.
They've made it through that early stage as well, and 29th minute last year where they went behind to Gold Coast Knights.
Yeah, there have only been 2 clean sheets kept in the 11 National Premier League Queensland Grand Finals to date. That was in 2020 and 2022. And that's for teams who have won the championship after losing the premiership. Well, there's been 4 sides do that as Tatsu Kojima gets it onto Murai, and it was just rising. Cardiff Pond looked oh so calm. And a chance there for Moreton City Excelsior.
Yeah, that was their best chance so far for the night. And Sato Murai, he is that next attacking option as well for Moreton City. He brings that dynamism and confidence on the ball going through the middle as he's found in a little bit of space, and Lions just frantically coming across to try and cover him off there.
So another contest in EC1. Mark can only find a white jersey. And Jackson Hart Phillips. Here's Holiday. Walters just lost his footing. Tom Felt waves it away. Skinner. Could it open up for Lions? Pengelly, the flag goes up. Andy Pengelly, the usual suspect.
That is his game though, Pengelly. He's always flirting with that offside line, and 9 times out of 10 he gets his positioning right, but like all of us, he is not perfect, despite his sometimes cyborg-esque nature in front of goal.
And with no Alex Fegner tonight, who had surgery last week on an upper ankle injury, a lot of the weight does fall to Andy Pengelly. here comes Kierpal. Zach Kierpal, an early sight up. Cardiff Ponds, very calm and composed once again. The youngster.
He is. Well, he's had no shortage of experience. Came through the Royal Academy last year at Olympic, but didn't play. But Pond is certainly, he's shown he's up to it as well. And by and large, probably down to having Borean there for support and maybe a little bit of pressure as well.
Well, he played the Pro Series final, missed out on the Queensland Cup final. And it was going to be interesting to see how Darren Syme approached tonight, not only with Beakhurst and Broderick, but also Pond and Borean.
It's a wonderful problem to have if you're a coach. I was expecting Pond, although once we found out that it was Borean's last game, you did wonder if he might go a little bit sentimental, but could be called on again here.
Ramazani got boot to ball. Bit of a messy clearance. Jackson Hart-Phillips forced to cover up. Holiday. Then Holiday, and it's Cardiff Pond to his left.
It's that man again, Ben Holiday. He's just making things happen.
Both sides with a very aggressive approach and attack. Not wanting to get too cute with it. As Beakhurst drops in field. Carlos would want that touch over again. He's still jostling for possession. Sayers does well to hold him off. Not many options forward for Sayers as he does a 360.
A little fend off that might be suited to a different code that's played here at Suncorp Stadium.
Again, Zach Kierpal leading from the front. That's something he did in the Queensland Cup final, giving away a couple of fouls, but they look to really turn on the intensity right from the front third. Moreton City Excelsior, both in defence and attack.
It's a side that just keeps coming at you in the Australia Cup match against Perth Glory. I mean, I know the Glory lost a player, but they're already on their heels and might have been back to 2-2 before it went to 10 men. Does sometimes backfire a little bit, maybe the emotions get away from them, but by and large, this is a side that just doesn't know when to stop playing.
Cam Miller is very energised as usual on the sideline. You can see where his players get it from. A very passionate man, Cam Miller, one of the youngest managers to ever go around, really.
But we do have a habit of bringing those promising young managers through. Ben Kahn is another coach that got his first chance at senior level with Olympic. And I think as well, Geordie Manning, he's gone on to bigger and better things in the professional game as well. He's another coach that certainly has a bright future ahead of him, and I'm sure the same can be said for Cam Miller.
We talk about Ben Kahn and that Olympic side who were in final after final. There is some synergy. A club has never lost a grand final, then gone on to win the grand final the following year. Not in its 11 seasons. Olympic had their chance on 4 occasions.
They had their chances.
It's Kojima, and it may have nicked a glove from Cardiff Pond. I'm not sure if it was originally going wide, but either way, it will be a corner for Moreton City Excelsior.
Better safe than sorry there from Cardiff Pond. He got down well and had to make sure that he got a strong hand to it as Kojima just flew away from Ontignap, and the shot goes in, and
Pond certainly needed the intervention.
Yeah, Pond had no idea, but the necessary save.
Here's Holiday and Kelly all the way back to do some defending for Lions. And we talk about Andy Pengelly, who leads the line for Lions. No Alex Fechner. Jack Skinner come onto the scene this year, really, signed from Redlands United. However, he's only scored 2 goals in his last 11 National Premier League's Queensland appearances. In a little bit of a drought at the moment, but can turn it on as here he is in possession now.
And it's not even just about his goal scoring, it's his creativity as well, and the fact that he's just so lively, just buzzing around the pitch, going pretty much wherever he's needed, in this case centrally, but can operate off the left, can operate off the right. It is such a dynamic player to have, and it does also mean that the pressure isn't all on Andy Pengelly to cover for Alex Fechner. It is a big loss not having someone as experienced as Fechner, but there's no shortage of options for Lions as they try to cover for it.
Yeah, we are missing a few superstars tonight. Fechner, Damon Anderson, unfortunately, out after injuring himself last weekend. We hope he's okay. And Emran Donnelly-Fagan not here tonight. So Smith just waiting for the ball to bounce. Walters trying to find Murray. Now he'll put the pressure on Lions. Carlos. Curse. Sean Carlos just on his heels.
Some promising signs for Lions in that build-up, though. They were on the back foot for about a 5-minute spell there, but they're starting to make a few more forward forays and trying to threaten the Moreton City goal.
It's launched long by Foster. Jared got in the way of it again. And Pengelly, is he held back by Declan Smith? He was. And Chris Marr went into the book for something very similar. Tom Fell happy to keep the card in his pocket.
Maybe just giving Declan Smith a little bit of leniency as the captain for Moreton City, but I mean, when you're the size of Declan Smith, you can't really do anything subtly.
He's very tall in stature.
Which is why I'm glad I'm not down on the sideline, potentially having to interview him a little bit later. Good luck with that, Josh.
What are we thinking here, James?
It's got to be shooting distance. It's, oh, let's just say 30 yards out, but you know, Duckworth can hit them. Beakhurst has stolen a run.
Duckworth blazing it over the top, not exactly what he had in mind.
Well, it was a shot.
And Chris Marr just having a few words to Joe Duckworth to let him know.
Chris Marr talking to someone on a football field, that is so unlike him.
Now here's Holiday. Oh, Jackson Hart-Phillips standing in the road. Unfortunately, his distribution couldn't follow up the good defensive work. Now Murray opens it up to Kojima. Brindle South will attend. Kojima. Just lacking some support. And we'll go all the way back to Declan Smith.
All support for Kojima there when he was looking forward. Everyone was in the other half of the field.
Walters does well to promote the pass forward. Ramazani spots Skinner. Danger signs perhaps beginning to ring again for Moreton City Excelsior. It's Carlos. Quite an opening half an hour, really.
Just flowing by. Beakhurst might be in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, Bernardi going to ground. Tom Fell just happy to have a word with Beakhurst, nothing more. Duckworth just overshooting that delivery. We've had 7 different winners across 11 seasons in the National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final. Olympics started in 2013. Lions have won 3. Gold Coast Knights have won 3. They'll create history. Lions tonight. If they do win it, they will be the first club to win 4. Another build-up from Lions FC. Edenap. Late to Duckworth. Here's Jared. We'll head down now to Josh McLean on the sideline. Josh.
Hello, gentlemen. Yes, Moreton City, very interesting side. And as we know, championships, premierships, trophies, they are lifted by leaders, and they've got 3 of them in their side. Declan Smith, Reece Gwynn-Jones and Chris Marr, they're all actually school teachers. So I tell you what, if they can stand in front of a group of youngsters and keep their cool every day of their jobs, they can certainly wrangle these Moreton City teammates. But the other thing I should mention, they're a very tight group, Moreton City. In fact, they've been known as an entire side to go out on the town together. Imagine that, a whole football team walks in the door of your local pub, every single player. But I am promised, gentlemen, and I'm pretty sure I believe it, they were on the waters last night, so no funny business before this grand final.
Tonight may be story.
Yeah, thank you very much, Josh, for the insights. He certainly dug deep between Lions and Moreton City Excelsior, bringing a different aspect to what we normally talk about.
Yeah, I mean, again, braver than me, 3 school teachers. I lasted 2 years and that was it.
Holiday. It's Kiepal. It's a chance. Ramazani in the right place at the right time. Holiday really imposing himself on this contest. As Walters climbs, Cardiff Pond got a glove. Walters is yet to move. It's absolute carnage.
Oh, that was a heavy collision. 3 players down, Pond, Jared and Walters. I think Walters actually got his head to the ball first in that instance, but all 3 players super committed to try and make the play for their team. As Jared is the first back to his feet. Some cross here, Walters. that was a collision they're going to be feeling tomorrow morning, no matter what the result tonight.
Well, it just shows what's at stake. Both sets of players willing to put their body on the line. They expect nothing less, of course.
For sure, and that was exactly the right move by Cardiff Pond as well. He had to get out of his line quickly and at least just disrupt Marquez Walters, because if Walters gets that free header, that's potentially 1-0 to Moreton City.
So both managers with a moment here. Who will be the happier, do you believe?
I don't feel like either of them are going to be happy as it stands. I think they'll be more relieved. Perhaps, Cam Miller knowing the side went into the break 1-0 down last year. It's all about just building on those little moments for Moreton City. Maybe knowing that they've got a little something to work with going forward here. They've definitely created their chances. Just thinks they can capitalise on it.
So Walters is back up and moving. He's standing on halfway. Tommy Jarrett, it looks like he's being patched up at the moment. Cardiff Pond is okay as well. So we haven't lost anyone to injury from that collision as of yet. Tommy Jarrett, a very tough defender.
Well, I suppose that is fairly synonymous term with central defender. Very, very tough. Tommy Jarrett, no shortage of experience with Lions, one of the most capped players in the NPL era. He has been a mainstay for them as well. So there's a few discussions taking place between opponents as it stands. It all looks fairly civil. I'm just seeing Bernardi and Pengelly just having a chat about possibly what could have been done differently there. And from this vantage point, I would say not a whole lot.
Well, we do have a moment. The record for both sides against the top 4 in the league in all competitions. 8 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses for Lions. A very healthy stat for Moreton City Excelsior. It's only the 4 wins, 1 draw and 3 losses. They obviously haven't played the top 4 in the National Premier League Queensland as much throughout the different competitions that do take place, which is the Kappa Pro Series and the Kappa Queensland Cup. But they are certainly tried and tested Lions.
And it's that record in big games, which is why they are where they're at. Because, I mean, you get the points in the league, but the form is translated across the whole season. And it's really, really amazing just to see how they continue to reinvent themselves year on year on year.
So, a long and lengthy delay here. First and foremost, we hope Tommy Jarrett is okay.
Head injuries always get that little bit more caution in 2024 as they might have 20 years ago.
Rightly so. They do have Dominic Horwood on the bench, who did play and started the Kappa Pro Series final, unexpectedly to some degree, as there was a bit of confusion prior to kickoff.
Yellow card accumulations and whatnot, but I suppose it was better to be sorted before kickoff than a couple of days after.
And Hassan Ramazani was suspended for that fixture, the Kappa Pro Series final. So he didn't feature, of course, featuring here tonight. And Owen Kumalong is also on the bench, has played centre back throughout 2024 for Lions. That's, of course, worst case scenario considering how Tommy Jarrett holds up.
Look, I'm no doctor, I don't play one on TV, but I'm hoping it is just as it appears, and it is mostly cosmetic repairs for Tommy Jarrett. And probably not the best night to be wearing a white jersey if he's had a little bit of spillage. Zach Kearpal and Seta Murai, two impact acquisitions for Cam Miller this year. Zach Kearpal replacing Jeremy Schroeders. There are some kids asking for shin pads to be signed, or they might be actually mementos from the earlier matches.
We talk about Zach Kearpal and his introduction into this Moreton City Excelsior lineup, losing Jeremy Stewart from last year. Question marks over how he and Walters were going to combine.
They've come off quite well together. It took a little while, as you would expect for any new striking tandem, especially because how often now do you see two out-and-out strikers playing with one another? The frustrating thing I've found with football lately is it is very much a copycat sport now, where coaches just prefer to go for one preferred system because, it works for this team, so we'll use it here. But that's one of the things you really do have to admire about Cam Miller. He said, no, we're playing our three central defenders, 5 minutes of time added on, by the way. But we're playing our three central defenders no matter what. And we're going to play football our way. And those fullbacks have had such a massive impact for them as well. And it's made it possible for them to use their two strikers.
So, as you mentioned, the 45 minutes has elapsed. But we do have 5 minutes added on. Marquez Walters still waiting to get back on the pitch after he has to go through procedure as the Moreton City Excelsior trainer did come onto the field. And Tommy Jarrett's had a costume change into a new strip as he has a big smile.
Looks like he's had his wisdom teeth out.
So good news and great sportsmanship thrown as they high-five each other back out to Suncorp Stadium. Tommy Jarrett, Marquez Walters and Cardiff Pond all A-OK after the collision.
Well, I suppose those two should be high-fiving each other because, let's be fair, it was the arm of Pond that did most of the damage to both of those guys. Still in number 5, though, Tommy Jarrett. I was wondering if they had a spare shirt on hand, or we might see him come out in a blank jersey or 58.
So a break in play. How will that impact the restart, if at all? Edenat, Brindle South, thought about Joe Duckworth's positioning. Jackson Hart-Phillips retrieving the pass. Quinn Jones will just guide things over the byline, and it's a fantastic job there. The corner will take place, just hustling for every inch there.
And this will be a good test of the concentration for both of these sides as well. They know half-time is just around the corner, and they only have a couple of minutes to go, and it's just off a fairly lengthy break as well.
Skinner, who was waiting for it. Zach Kearpal nodded it away. And Kearpal can't believe the call didn't go his way. Very passionate character.
Well, that's one thing that stood out about Zach Kearpal this year as well. Talking to Scott and Adam from the Brisbane Football Review, they were saying Kearpal has been playing with a real edge this year that they haven't seen from him before. It certainly looks like it's paid dividends for him with just a lazy 22 goals in all competitions.
Well, we still are locked up at 0-0. We've only had 4 scoreless halves in National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final history. Tonight looks like we will have number 5. As Declan Smith got high, following up his header the second time. Now it's Kearpal. Sayers in a corner. Jared spotting Finn Beakhurst, who's now switched out to the left-hand side of the field.
No matter what flank Beakhurst is on, he has pace to burn.
Skinner won't give up on it. It has gone over the byline. Tom Fell just leaning on his assistant.
And as Skinner protests that call, Tom Fell says it was his decision.
We're close to the conclusion of this first half. Nathan Foster puts it into the night sky. Ramazani sends it back the other way. Thank you. So we're back live. Sorry for the delay. For any inconvenience with the feed. It's confirmation there. Lions do lead 1-0. Andy Pengelly, the goal scorer. It is half-time here. James Coughlin, a word?
Well, that goal pretty much just turned the tide of the halftime speeches for both of these sides. Lions much happier now, and we'll have to see what Cam Miller and Moreton City have in their bag.
So
Industries is proud to be the official shelter and grandstands partner of Football Queensland. Felton offers a range of premium aluminium grandstands, from elite portable spectator seating to soccer team shelters for players and coaches. Give your fans the best view of the game with Felton's comfortable spectator seating. With sun-safe shelters or powder-coated in your team colours. Whatever your club needs, Felton has a high-quality, low-maintenance seating option to suit. We are the pioneers in Australian-made grandstands and team shelters. Contact Felton today on 1800 834 016 or visit felton.net.au.
We are here at Suncorp Stadium at half-time of the National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final. What a first half it was. Lions and Moreton City Excelsior doing battle on the hallowed turf. And we do have the highlights from the first half to talk through. There were quite a few. Here's the yellow card.
Yeah, Chris Marr just cynically pulling back, perhaps out of frustration about the lack of free kick awarded to Marquez Walters before.
And there was a chance for Marquez Walters. The shot was deflected wide. Both sides didn't really have any clear-cut opportunities to begin.
Yeah, it was all very much half chances, trying to work through very well organised defensive lines. Sadie Muro, possibly with the closest chance for Moreton City of the first half. Zach Kierpal also curling an effort straight at Cardiff Pond.
Yeah, Cardiff Pond really standing tall tonight so far. Here's Ben Holliday. He's been quite an influential figure to begin. Starting on that wing for Moreton City Excelsior. That's Kojima also on the wing tonight.
There is a theme about all these Moreton City chances. Also, the wingers cutting in and trying to take the shots on themselves.
Back live, we will show you the goal. Unfortunately, there was a mix-up. Here it is. Lions FC 1, Moreton City Excelsior 0.
It was just such a well-worked team move from Lions, who were just patient, waited for the opening to come through as Brindle South plays it around. Eventually just finding the space for the pass, and it was an inch-perfect ball to free up Finn Beakhurst. And it was Jackson Hart-Phillips, of all people, getting there at the back post to poke it home. The left fullback, the most advanced option for Lions, but that is one of the better goals they've scored all season.
Yeah, no doubt Darren Simon will be very happy to see the ball land in the back of the net as the Lions players embrace. The second half is not too far away. It's all to play for here in the 2024 National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final, live from Suncorp Stadium. We'll be back after the break.
Industries is proud to be the official shelter and grandstands partner of Football Queensland. Felton offers a range of premium aluminium grandstands, from elite portable spectator seating to soccer team shelters for players and coaches. Give your fans the best view of the game with Felton's comfortable spectator seating. With sun-safe shelters or powder-coated in your team colours. Whatever your club needs, Felton has a high-quality, low-maintenance seating option to suit. We are the pioneers in Australian-made grandstands and team shelters. Contact Felton today on 1800 834 016 or visit felton.net.au.
So you find us at half-time of the National Premier League's Queensland Men's Grand Final. Live from Suncorp Stadium, it is Lions with the lead. Jackson Hart-Phillips scoring in the 50th minute, or the 45th rather, to put Lions ahead at half-time. And we will now head down to Josh McLean, who's on the sideline. Josh, a word from you.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the crowd down here, they've been boisterous, but Moreton City, they have been much, much louder. Now, while they are a little bit disappointed to be down in this match at half-time, of course, trailing 1-0 as we just heard, they are going to play a big part in getting their team over the line, and they've already been as loud as you could possibly imagine down here. Now, of course, Marquez Walters, he's the man to keep an eye on. He has 22 goals, leads the NPL. Is he going to be the man to spark something? And it's interesting that I say spark. He is an electrician by trade. So if they're going to get a spark, an electrician's probably going to be the right man for the job, guys.
Thank you very much, Josh. Great to have you down pitch side tonight for all the action in the National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final. It is the second half we are waiting for. As we run our eye over that first 45 and look to the second.
It's all about Moreton City, isn't it? I mean, they're the side that have to make something happen now. They've been in this position before, not that long ago, and they now have a lot more experience pulling themselves out of a deficit as well. And they've got the players to do it. It's just a question of, will Lions just let that intensity slip and allow Moreton City to create an opening? That is such a good defense for Moreton City, for Lions, I beg your pardon. It is going to be a touch and go second half, and look, who knows what this next 45 minutes is going to have for us.
Well, it was 1-0 at half-time of the Cup of Queensland Cup final, which Lions ran away 3-0 winners in. So, as you mentioned, not so long ago did we have this storyline playing out. Josh mentioned the crowd, and I know Moreton City Excelsior had a day with the juniors this morning up at Walter Park. How important is it for them to really bring home this Moreton City Excelsior side? As he said, they have been the louder of the two crews.
Well, the juniors are such a big part of Moreton City's club. When they do their home games, the juniors come onto the field. In the Australia Cup tie-up at Walter Park, they had to be told in no uncertain terms that couldn't happen. But look, the juniors, they are the heart and soul of the club, and they'll be the ones to give them that extra motivation as well, I'm sure. But I don't know how much more extra motivation these players really do need on the biggest stage of the year.
They were behind this exact same scoreline in the grand final last year. What lessons do you think they will take from their approach in the second 45 to this second 45 in 2024?
Convert on the chances. That's as simple as it is. They had their options against Gold Coast Knights. There was that penalty that wasn't awarded. I mean, we don't need to go back and relitigate that. But players like Ben Holiday, he wasn't there last year. He doesn't have the scars from that moment. And I think Ben Holiday and maybe even someone like Kei Kojima, they were making things happen off the wings in both instances in the first half. It just depends, can they continue to make that happen and just find the space for a telling contribution?
So here come Lions as they will join Moreton City Excelsior out on Suncorp Stadium. Tommy Jarrett, as you may have noticed, all patched up after a collision with Cardiff Pond and Marquez Walters. He is A-OK though, which is good news for Lions, as their rock-solid centre-half pairing between Ramazani and Jarrett continue in the second 45.
Darren Syme making sure he's got his accreditation pass on the sideline. Got to keep the security guards over there happy.
And Tom Fell now making his way out to halfway. How do we see both managers using their bench moving forward? Could be very important.
It is, and they've got impact subs on both benches. Obviously, the loss of David Anderson and Emran Dominley Fagan is big for Moreton City. And for Lions, Luke Broderick, well, we saw 2 weeks ago what he can do trying to close the game out for Lions. All last week even, actually.
So Moreton City Excelsior with the mountain to climb. Lions in the driver's seat at the moment. It's the second half of the National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final. A false start, and now we're good to go. Annie Pangeli kicks us off. It is all to play for here in 2024. And the intent shown early from Moreton City, an early foul going the way of Lions. Jack Skinner in a little bit of pain here.
A solid landing, perhaps, is what has got Skinner feeling the effects of that challenge. But he's back on his feet. We're underway.
So Duckworth, Ramazani now. He's happy to take on the space afforded to him. Kierpal looking to get the better of Joe Duckworth. And Duckworth has his measure. He really is so strong on both sides of the ball, Joe Duckworth. Now it's Ma trying to profit from the situation. The whistle did come. It's James Edenup who is in some bother on the deck.
No shortage of physicality when these two teams face off.
Watching
The replay there. I'm not sure if Walters might have, in the process of receiving that foul, Walters might have landed on his ankle perhaps, or just an awkward spot, but it's never something you want to see a player go down with, grasping that lower leg.
So we hope James Edenup is okay. We had a lengthy delay at the end of the first half, now at the start of the second. As you mentioned earlier, the options for Darren Syme on the bench include Rye Denton.
Well, that is a natural replacement for that role. Matt Rydenton just come back from missing a fair chunk of time this season with injury, and obviously losing Ontignap is going to be huge. 36 games in all competitions for Lions in the local leagues, not to mention the Australia Cup. It's a very hushed feeling at the moment. The crowd feels almost a little bit muted, as it's not looking good for Ontignap.
There wasn't any serious concern up front. Certainly you couldn't tell from Antonup's reaction. He just seemed to go down like a normal challenge, but it seems to be a little more serious.
It isn't. Like, Chris Maher is just standing there waiting to take the free kick as well, and the Lions players are all holding their defensive line as well, so no one's entirely sure what's going on here, because you want to make sure he's getting the necessary treatment.
So Matt Rye-Denton has replaced James Edenap. James Edenap falls from the field of play after succumbing to that injury, and a like-for-like substitution.
It is probably a little bit earlier than Darren Syme would have been hoping for, but I suppose, well, not much you can really do when there's an injury like that. And one of the subs and sub-windows has been used. Oh, great move now.
As it's Kojima. Ooh. Joe Duckworth getting back in the nick of time. Zach Kipper was just waiting for it.
And he had to make that intervention there, Duckworth, because that ball was travelling towards a Moreton City player.
So Ben Holiday will take up the corner. An opportunity for Moreton City. Excelsior. That was Reece Gwyn-Jones flying through. And Sayers won't reach it. Murray won't give up either, but it will be a Lions throw. And that is where they are strong, Moreton City Excelsior. It is from set pieces with the height they boast.
And so well drilled as well. They know everyone what their specific job is. Brindle South restarting players.
Here is Brindle South. And Declan Smith just cleaning up with no real malice to it. Finn Beekhurst just purely getting the better of Declan Smith.
Well, that's the advantage of having the pace of Finn Beekhurst. It does give him that ability to go around Declan Smith, although it is a fairly large man to go around. Which is why they have the free kick.
So here come Lions, already 1-0 ahead. Another goal will help their cause. And it's a long overshot free kick. Jack Skinner couldn't quite keep it in play. You just notice now the tempo of Moreton City Excelsior certainly lifting. Chris Marr wants the ball back to Nathan Foster as quick as possible.
Yeah, they're not interested in wasting any time. They probably also, knowing what's coming next weekend, would love to get this match resolved as quickly as possible. Ideally in their favour, but first things first, they need a goal. And that is how they got themselves back into the match after falling into that early hole against Perth Glory.
Well, they have shown so much character in their last two wins. Perth Glory at Perry Park down 2-0, they win 3-2. Against Peninsula Power at Walter Park, they go to extra time. Pretty much Peninsula Power lead at every turn. And then it was finally the winner from Moreton City Excelsior to book their spot in the grand final.
Yeah, just a little bit of drama in their last couple of outings, but you wonder when this side is going to break, and it has not come yet. It's been big game after big game, and they just keep finding ways to trot along and keep themselves in with a chance every single week.
One hope they do have. Moreton City Excelsior, their away record in 2024, only one loss. That came in the Cabot Pro Series quarterfinal against Brisbane City. They are, in a sense, away tonight as Tommy Jarrett showing some footwork, the centre half, and does well to put a buffer between Moreton City Excelsior and Lions goal. Here's Gwyn-Jones. Just showed a little too much of it to Jack Skinner.
Space here.
And here comes Skinner. He has support ahead of him. And Tom Fell just waiting to see how play would eventuate. Free kick Lions.
It waited a while to make that decision, seeing if there was any advantage accruing. None doing so, so we'll come back for the free kick, and of course Duckworth thought about taking that one quickly. Perhaps more changes being prepared on the Lions bench. So is that Redemption
Yeah,
that's getting
yeah,
made ready to come on? I thought that change had already been made. We saw the board go up after.
Well, I was just waiting to hear confirmation because that's what we saw. We saw 30 and 6 being interchanged moments ago. And the same thing has occurred, however, 5 minutes later.
That is very, very odd. Even by local football standards, that is a very odd moment because I could have sworn I saw Ontignap just going over to the sideline with his, or being helped off with his ankle.
Well, either way, we got there in the end. It's been a strange night, James.
It's been a strange day, actually, a whole week really, but...
And now Moreton City Excelsior having a word with Tom Felt, most notably Zach Kierpal.
Who's being told again and again to go away, and I think he might talk himself into a card if he's not too careful.
We'll talk about strange.
I wish I had something more constructive to say other than, huh?
Well, Moreton City look to be on the attack. I'm not sure what I've missed here, what we've missed.
I think Cam Miller is asking that exact same question as well.
Saturday the 7th of September 2024, forever known as FQ Grand Final Day, and just one of them days.
I was going to say one of the rare times I was rendered speechless, which is probably not great for our chosen hobby.
So Sayers turned into trouble. Jack Skinner right on his tail. And there will be a goal kick for Moreton City Excelsior. They need the little wins from here on out. They need everything to go their way. Only down by 1, but that can feel like a very, very large proposition, especially in the moment. Here's Murai. Walters making the run. Murai held back. Holiday tripped up, sending Brindle south every which way. It's Zach Kierpal. It's Tommy Jarrett to deny Moreton City Excelsior. What a moment. What a moment.
His head is all bandaged up, but his feet are clearly all right because that is as good as a save as he could have made. And Cardiff Pond, full of praise for his teammate that's just made the biggest save of the game so far.
Well, Moreton City Excelsior must be thinking, what more must we do?
And Kierpal, he had the goal at his mercy and he picked the one spot that Tommy Jarrett decided to fill, and he wasn't there when it happened. And
now here's Sean Carlos.
He's getting ushered off very, very quickly.
And Cam Miller having a word with Lockie Sayers. As just waiting to confirm, it looks as though Luke Broderick will be the man to replace Sean Carlos. So we will have Broderick, Beakhurst, Skinner and Pengelly all out there at once.
They're really going to try and kill this game off as quickly as they can, Josh. It's going to be pretty much all-out attack and deciding that that is the best form of defending a 1-0 lead.
So it is a corner for Moreton City Excelsior. Oh, the chance. The chance Declan Smith had. He pushes it wide.
And Moreton City have to make this dominance pay. They have had their chances and it just hasn't come about. If you go to the replay, inch perfect delivery, and you would expect Declan Smith to be able to get that on target 99 times out of 100. More changes coming now.
So Chris Marr sees his night come to a close, and it is Joe Scott who will replace Chris Marr. Has scored in his last 2 National Premier League's Queensland semi-finals, Brisbane City 2023, Peninsula Power 2024. He has pulled Moreton City Excelsior out of the fire time and time again.
And that left foot that he has on set pieces, if you've heard me commentate Moreton City at all, well, pretty much since he joined in the last couple of years, you'll know I'm a big admirer of Joe Scott from set pieces. He has that wicked left foot that almost got Southwest Queensland Thunder back into the 2020 FQPL Grand Final. 3 free kicks off the post in extra time. It is so dangerous. And of course that brilliant free kick last week as well into the top corner.
So how can he change the game? Joe Scott. He was a used substitute last weekend too against Peninsula Power in the semi-final. And another pause in play. Lions won't mind this disruptive nature.
Just anything to get that momentum back in their favour, because they are very much finding themselves on the back foot. And it's what happens when you sub on so many incredible attackers. But interesting thing I'm noticing as well, it looks like Broderick is playing a little bit higher up and Pengelly is sitting deeper. We saw them do this earlier in the season with Alex Fechner playing as that nominal out-and-out striker, and Pengelly playing as a bit more of a playmaker.
Kirpal eventually got a shot away. He did well to manufacture something out of nothing there. And I know we keep harping on about it, but it really is the yardstick to tonight's contest, the Queensland Cup final. At this point, Lions went 2-0 ahead.
They did, and they know this is the time of the match where they need to take it up a level. Will it happen? That's anyone's guess at the moment, but...
Now here's Scott. Has some room ahead of him. Marquez Walters. It's Marquez Walters! And Moreton City Excelsior's main man has missed an opportunity to draw level.
We go back to the cup final again, Josh. Walters had that chance about 10 minutes from time when it was 2-0 and Moreton City were on the front foot trying to get themselves back into the match, and Walters crashed his shot off the bar.
He almost had too much time.
He almost did, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to give him too many more chances like that, because you can only get lucky like that so many times.
So Ramazani floating it forward. Broderick in pursuit of Declan Smith. And Sayers ended up winning it back for Moreton City Excelsior. Walters just doesn't get the bounce of the ball. Murai clattering into Duckworth. Tom fell happy for play to continue. And now Kirpal. Walters. Lions defence on skates at the moment.
Something else to note, this is normally when Cam Miller has gone to his bench in the last few weeks, looking to replace Zach Kirpal and maybe make Walters the sole focal point of the attack. I'm not seeing a whole lot of movement on the Moreton City bench as it stands.
Another solid challenge, and the throw-in going the way of Moreton City Excelsior. Comeback wins in National Premier League's Queensland Grand Finals. 4 teams have come from behind. It was Olympic in 2013, Palm Beach the year after, Redlands in 2016. They scored twice in the final 6 minutes to win. And then Lions came from behind in 2018 after they were down 1-0 at half-time. Can Moreton City Excelsior show the same resolve as they have in the past 2 matches and as other sides have in the history of this match?
Well, it's a test to the mentality.
Kojima, Walters. It's Kirpal now. It falls for Kirpal. Walters was just a metre in front of where he would have desirably been. Bernardi now looks to reset through Sayers. Kirpal. Scott. Joe Scott, the deflection taken. They'll be happy to concede a corner. Lions, as who knows where that shot would have ended up.
I think knowing Joe Scott, it would have been directed towards that far post area. There's a chance here for Kojima, just put it behind Walters across the 6-yard box, and I think Walters' positioning was necessarily wrong there.
No,
and it was
just unfortunate.
And it was a tough first touch there to try and play it back.
So Sayers' delivery dealt with. And here's a free kick opportunity. It was Joe Scott who was collected. And Tom Fell won't be changing his mind.
No, one of these days I'm sure screaming at a referee will work, or posting videos on the internet, of course, you disagree with. But for now, it's going to be just a free kick, although I suppose we should be glad it's not the same ref that the Socceroos had on Thursday night, because that would have been a straight red card.
Well, Joe Scott had a free kick in the exact same spot in the semi-final against Peninsula Power.
I wonder if they've been doing their film study on that.
And he and Marquez Walters line up. So Suncorp Stadium will sit and wait. Lions have a very heavy wall. Suncorp Stadium holds its breath. It's going to be Walters, and over it goes. The chance not coming to fruition.
Radar just hasn't been as finely tuned as we would perhaps be hoping. See the replay of the high foot, and well, not a whole lot to argue there from Skinner. Not a whole lot of contact either, it has to be said, and definitely not something that rises to the level of, well, even a booking, let alone a red card.
And that looked to come off Sayers. It will be a Lions throw up the park. They haven't been up this end of the field for some time now, Lions.
That's right, we've got Nathan Foster down this end of the pitch. There's some movement for Moreton City as they'll prepare another change. Looks like it might be Josh Hong being prepared.
So Jackson Hart Phillips going one way, now another. Skinner. And Jack Skinner just held out.
Flags up.
Yeah, it will be a throw-in for Lions. A little bit of confusion on the sideline. Zach Hierpout certainly didn't think the right call was made. And again, Lions are happy for the pace of the game to be sucked out. Every small stoppage, every moment in play that takes time to repair itself. Still a long way to go in this grand final. So much more to take place. And that was silky from Jack Skinner. Kojima does well. And now Moreton City Excelsior will settle on the ball. Bernardi has Holiday. Here's Declan Smith. Reece Quinn Jones. Lions happy to sit with 5 at the back. As Moreton City Excelsior look to manipulate his defence. Bernardi. Holiday. He'll have to get creative from that position. And there will be a goal kick. Tom fell right on the spot. It looks as though, as you mentioned, another substitution will be made for Moreton City Excelsior. Josh Hong coming on for Reece Quinn Jones.
So there we go. Moreton City almost certainly now going to a back four, I beg your pardon. They're just adding another body to try and bring in a little bit more midfield control, although Hong, I'm sure, can fill in for Quinn Jones, as it actually looks like he's just a straight swap in that right centre-back role.
Keep out, climbing. Marquez Walters will stand underneath it. Keepau comes to contest. He and Duckworth going at it. It's Joe Scott. Walters. Kojima can't get a shot away. And the penalty shout from Tatsu Kojima going unnoticed by Tom Fell. And Duckworth happy to put the ball into touch as Tatsu Kojima still on the ground.
Declan Smith has just been told by the referee to not engage in any further discussion. It's Kojima still down. It was very quick to be waved away by Tom Fell.
He was the man who replaced Damon Anderson tonight after Anderson's injury last weekend. Made the mid-season transfer to Moreton City Excelsior in July of 2024. Originally started the year with Gold Coast Knights.
Joel's on his way up as well.
Whoa.
Bernardi gets out of trouble. Moreton City Excelsior living dangerously. Now they open up the ground to Holiday. Did that ball cross? It did. Across the sideline.
He's moving too fast for his own good there, Ben Holiday.
Probably can't blame the pitch on this occasion.
Well, the thing about Suncorp Stadium, it is actually a little bit cambered towards the sidelines as well to help with drainage. That is literally the one gardening fact I know. Or groundskeeping fact.
Bernardi. Murai made the most of the contact, happy to receive the free kick. And someone's going in the book here. It will be Matt Rydenton. Moreton City Excelsior wastes no time. Declan Smith high up the pitch and Cardiff Ponds got a mitt to it. It will be another Moreton City Excelsior corner.
It would have been an unbelievably tight angle for that to turn into a goal, but it could have been headed back across and perhaps a chance on the second ball.
So another opportunity for Moreton City Excelsior. Holiday was rushed into a shot. Now Bernardi. Sayers. Josh McLean spoke about how tight this Moreton City Excelsior group is, and they're going to need to rely on every bit of chemistry they have. As Walters, Declan Smith. Was Tommy Jarrett in the way? He was, and it was legal. No real protest coming from Moreton City Excelsior. I believe that's what your motion was.
It was. I was waiting for the appeals for the penalty, but I don't think they would have resulted in anything. So I think that came straight off the knee area. There's Tommy Jarrett. That's now another big block. Maybe not as important as the one right off the goal line to deny Kierpal, but...
Well, there's certainly two obvious moments to remember. One, it is the Tommy Jarrett goal-saving challenge, and it is the Marquez Walters miss.
Those are the moments that Moreton City have not been able to capitalise on, but also with Walters, can't help but think he's had a couple of half chances where I've been waiting for him to try and pull out the bicycle kick. He might have something up his sleeve for in the next quarter of an hour.
Kojima won't win the race to the ball. Here's Jackson Hart-Phillips, who does, and pegged in here, Moreton City Excelsior. Joe Scott with a long throw. That must be the play here as Josh Hong moves into the penalty area. Here is Scott. Declan Smith trying to knot it on. It will be another Lions goal kick. 15 minutes remain.
And I think that is an area of the pitch we're going to be seeing more and more of Declan Smith in. We spoke about how he has a background playing striker on occasion earlier in his career, and he's a pretty handy body to have up front if needed as well.
Kearpal still out there for Moreton City Excelsior. So too Walters. They have had 12 different goal scorers in 2024. So the squad has contributed. However, Marquez Walters has combined to, I think it's 44% of Moreton City Excelsior goals he has contributed to.
He's the main man up top. I know it's the dynamic duo with Zach Kearpal. However, it is very much an instance of Walters as Batman. I don't think Kearpal would mind being the Robin in this situation.
Well, the challenge is beginning to fly in. Beakhurst sets off. And Beakhurst! Nathan Foster stood, watched. And now Jack Skinner in all sorts of pain. I think that was after the Declan Smith challenge.
It certainly was, and he has stayed down Jack Skinner. As Beakhurst just optimistically said, any chance of a free kick perhaps, is on the replay now, and that was a tight angle, but would have been enough to potentially make a few Moreton City players nervous.
And now more minutes will be drained as Jack Skinner will receive some attention.
You wonder how many more rallies do they have, and that was a solid coming together.
Yeah, it was important Declan Smith got there. He did win a lot of the ball too. Not that that justifies, but Tom felt perhaps in his right to allow play to continue.
I think that was the right call. I mean, you know, you always joke, football is technically what you would call a contact sport. It's not a collision sport like some of the other football codes, but there is plenty of contact in our game.
So we've had Tommy Jarrod patched up, Jack Skinner now receiving treatment. James Edenap thought to have gone off, continued playing for 5 minutes before he did eventually make his way off. So a few Lions players in the wars tonight.
Yeah, just a little bit, and it's going to be a very tense ending. Although it doesn't feel like it's got that same edge as the cup final had a couple of weeks ago. It does feel like it's a bit more focused from both teams as well, and maybe not as emotional.
So Skinner hobbling off. Not sure if he'll continue. Does look like Pranav Vallabh is stretching over on the Lions technical area. But Skinner may be okay to resume play.
Well, the interesting option if they were to make that change is most of the options on the bench now are quite defensive. So for Lions, it is basically agreeing to say, all right, we're going to sit back and defend a little bit more because they've already made their attacking changes. And as we say that, Skinner comes back on.
So Skinner is all good to go. Seitai Murai. Ben Holiday hasn't had the impact in the second half as he did in the first, but that can change in an instant. And now Declan Smith has options to his right, decides to go down the congestion. It's Joe Scott. Joe Scott wriggling away. Joe Scott forces a save from Cardiff Pont, and the substitute really coming into his own now.
Well, Scott, he is the definition of an impact sub, and that is why I can't believe they keep allowing him to get those shots away off his left foot. They have to know how lethal it is.
Moreton City Excelsior with another corner. We've had many of these tonight. Up goes Hong. Kearpal didn't really know where the ball was. Ramazani gets it clear. Bernardi, just a little shallow. Sayers. Scott. Was he fouled? Cam Miller thought so. So too Tom felt. Hong. Flicking it on to Kojima.
Oh.
And it will go the way of Moreton City Excelsior. Jack Skinner perhaps leaving too much of his boots in that challenge.
And I think there might have been just a double check between Tom Fell and his assistant over on this side about where the foul occurred. Was it right on the edge of the box or perhaps inside? And it's a good metre or so outside.
Now Marquez Walters took the last free kick pretty much in the exact same position on the opposite side. Do we expect Joe Scott?
This is the side for a left footer as well, and it'll be interesting to see where Cardiff Pond positions himself, because if he goes too far towards the back post, we know where Scott's going to want to aim, and it's interesting that Pond is just a little bit off his line as well.
It is Scott, and he went for the far post, just didn't wrap his boot around it enough.
So close for Moreton City, but that is pretty much the summary of the last 80 or so minutes, as we see a touch, and it was just determination from Kojima to get himself in there and win the free kick for his side.
We will have some added time to play with. There have been a fair few stoppages in this second half. Walters and Kirpal in pursuit. Ramazani getting across to beat the bounce of the ball. And again, they just reset lines. Happy to sit deep and back themselves in for the remainder of this match.
Well, they've done this before and they're more than happy to do it again. They are very well disciplined. It's just a case of, can they make it? Oh, a bit of a slip from Scott.
Kojima, he's really won a lot of 50-50 balls tonight.
It's that quick acceleration, getting himself into the challenge ahead of his opposite number.
Now Murai. Declan Smith further us forward for Moreton City Excelsior at the moment. Kirpal's touch lets him down. And once again, Nick Bernardi anchoring this Moreton City Excelsior attack. Murai calling for it. They do have to recycle it through Bernardi before it does reach Murai. It's a shallow pass, and Sayers does tremendously well. That was tasteful from Lockie Sayers and earns the foul.
Such quick feet, and talk about grand final history as well. Lockie Sayers, no shortage of it from his time with Olympic.
Here's a chance, and Marquez Walters was in the vicinity. Cardiff Pond cut out the ball into the area. And Skinner, so elusive. Jack Skinner denied by Seitai Murai. What an individual effort.
Oh, that would have been worthy of a grand final ceiling goal if that had have resulted in Jack Skinner scoring. He just shrugged off a couple of challenges, and Bernardi, well, he didn't really have a whole lot of options in front of him. He couldn't commit the foul there, and he stuck his arms out going, well, I've got nothing else I can do.
Yeah, he was lost at sea there, Nick Bernardi. And Matt Rye-Denton has plenty of A-League experience. Now Tom Fell coming over to Zijad Ahmetovic, who is standing next to Darren Syme. It will be a card. It seems to have gone to Darren Syme.
It would certainly appear that way. There's someone on the Lions bench. I suppose it would be fitting for Luke Borean in his final appearance to pick up a booking for good measure.
So Rye-Denton, A-League experience, most notably at Wellington Phoenix. And play on there as Nathan Foster collects it. It was Broderick who went to ground. And Holiday gets his head up. He just sees white jerseys ahead of him. They recover the ball once more, Lions. Broderick. Here's Brindle South. I'll stay patient.
Well, this is what this side is so good at, seeing these games out. I remember round 7 at Walter Park. Lions went deep into the book of time-wasting tactics. Used every last minute to their advantage to preserve their win. So playing a man down after Jack Skinner was sent off in that match. Ready for some special moments from Josh Brindle South in the coming, well, let's say 7, 8, 9 minutes.
Here is Pangeli. Now it's Holiday. Brindle South. Just knocking it to Joe Duckworth.
Did Moreton City have the energy to push forward? There wasn't a whole lot of players chasing that one forward as
And they have had a very, some could say, tiring schedule. So too Lions, of course. The Moreton City Excelsior have played many midweek games throughout 2024. There's Broderick. Can't quite keep control. Can they find some venom in this attack, Moreton City Excelsior?
well, they've got to find something special here. Well, I do have some grand final trivia for you, Josh. Moreton Bay United, the previous iteration or previous name for this side, scored a couple of grand final goals. 2015, 88th minute winner for Geordie Farina. 2017, 85th minute equaliser for Janowski out of Briggs Road. So they do have some late grand final goals in their repertoire. Don't worry, I was going to ask you for the exact moments and descriptions, breakdowns of those goals.
Well, it's hard to forget Geordie Farina's free kick.
Perhaps matched only by Dylan Wenzel-Horse's free kick. The two extremes of emotions for the Moreton Bay club. Now Moreton City. Not going to get confusing when we have to clarify that in the years to come, but anyway.
Cardiff Pond tries to find as many metres as possible. Duckworth pushing the ball forward. Now it's Skinner. Ben Holiday not shirking his challenge as Skinner has options. It's Matt Wright-Denton shaving the upright. Matt Wright-Denton. And the ball back in play immediately. Moreton City Excelsior opting through Josh Hong. Now it's Sayers as they try to get on the front foot.
And that could have been the moment for Lions to seal it. Now it's on Moreton City to make them pay. They've had their chances. The nominal home side, Moreton City today.
So a minute remaining in the 90. How much time will we have added on? Foster back for Hong. They're at the wrong end of the field here, Moreton City Excelsior. And Josh Hong only going backwards at the moment.
Ooh.
There was a stiff challenge and Josh Hong laying on the deck. Matt Wright-Denton, it was coming through on him.
Very quick to apologise, Matt Wright-Denton, because he's already on a yellow card and was definitely late on that challenge.
So here's Murai. Is there one more chance for Moreton City Excelsior? We're about to find out how long there is to go. Zijada Medovic has the board in hand.
I'll go 6 minutes of time added on, but
Cam Miller will be hoping for more. Darren Simon hoping for less.
Darren Simon will just be hoping those stoppage time minutes go by as quickly as possible. 5 minutes is what is signalled.
Scott. Here's Declan Smith. Declan Smith, there was a fair challenge. There was a clean challenge, and Nathan Foster will assume the throw-in.
Some interesting throw-in technique there from the goalkeeper, but well, let's be honest, we've seen a lot more get let go at this level.
Now there is time remaining. There is time remaining in this grand final if Moreton City Excelsior want it, if they can find an opportunity, a chance. Lions have it back. Bernardi getting across the field of play, does well to earn the goal kick, and he's not happy with Broderick's antics. Luke Broderick kicked the ball away, Bernardi reacted.
Yellow card for Bernardi. And a yellow card for Broderick.
Fair is fair.
Yep. That's pretty much the common sense approach to handling that, although Broderick is feeling his arm a little bit after that one.
Now it's Josh Hong once again, carting it out of Moreton City Excelsior's own end. Declan Smith pushed right up front at the moment, alongside Marquez Walters. Here's Joe Scott. This is the man you want in possession if you're Moreton City Excelsior. Outside of the boots, and Cardiff Pond will go to ground.
And the strikers were just a little bit late to make their run towards the near post for that cross from Scott, perhaps expecting him to cut back onto the left foot and try to bend it towards that far post. Kierpal with some not so friendly advice for Cardiff Pond.
And it is Broderick and Bernardi once more. Broderick happy to take it towards the corner. Holiday does well to manage the ball out of there. Now Broderick going to ground, following the challenge from Bernardi. And Tom Fell, after all of that, will say throw in Lions.
Interesting coming together there. There's a whole lot of shirts being grabbed. Lions bench now on their feet. They've got 2.5 minutes to go before they can celebrate. Luke Borean, only player sitting. He might actually be the calmest man in the stadium right now.
Lions, an important ball to win here. And it will be another Lions throw in. That's just experience.
Tick, 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 tick. That clock is just going towards full time.
And again, Tom Fell having to hurry things up. Does go the way of Moreton City Excelsior. And forward they go. Marquez Walters looking for Declan Smith. Here's Kierpal. Scott had nowhere to go. Jack Skinner right on his tail. And now Joe Duckworth will find as much green grass as possible.
I think he weighted that ball just about perfectly because it wasn't going out in short order. It might have needed a little bit longer to roll over the byline.
And again, the ball falls to a white jersey. That time, Pengelly, Bernardi and Broderick. Chapter 3 of their narrative ends in peace.
Well, this time Bernardi had such a head start.
Here's Kierpal, hoping for the pass from Hong. Instead, Hong will try and eat up as many metres. Now Kierpal, pushed off by Skinner. Kierpal coming in a little too aggressively. And a yellow ticket for Zach Kierpal.
What did I say earlier about him playing with a bit more fire this year? I think he was going to get off the hook until he said something, but he had eyes only for Joe Duckworth there as he dropped the shoulder.
So Nathan Foster to collect. The official game clock showing seconds remaining in added time. Holiday. Won't beat Brindle South to it.
They've got the numbers now, Lions.
Hong can't get the ball back. And now the strike. Over the top at Fallu. Nathan Foster will take no time here. History is wrought. Lions are the very first to win 4. They are your 2024 National Premier League's Queensland champions.
Oh, what a game, Josh. And, well, the Lions players that have the energy left are celebrating, but there are quite a few, well, were quite a few sprawled on the ground as they celebrated.
Full time, Moreton City Excelsior 0, Lions FC 1. Jackson Hart-Phillips, the only difference tonight.
And it was a goal worthy of winning a grand final as well. So well worked. The passing, the patience, the build-up. And the celebrations are going to go off at the Gold Line tonight for sure, as it is heartbreak for Moreton City. But, well, I feel for Rob Scanlon's credit card on the bar tonight out at Richlands.
There are a number of Moreton City Excelsior players on the ground with very little energy to give. Of course, they gave it all in that 90 minutes. A fairy tale finish for Luke Borian after an exceptional career. And we will take a look back at the highlights of the 2024 National Premier League's Queensland Grand Final. James Coughlin, talk me through this one.
Well, this is the goal. It was just a beautiful pass. That might have been the best move of it all. Beakhurst there to Hart-Phillips, who had just stolen a run to the far post, and he beat his man to the ball. And I think it was actually about 15 or 16 passes just in the build-up. And then Moreton City, they had their chances. That is the unfortunate truth, where Tommy Jarrod was the one that stood up and made the play. And it was easy to spot because he's got the bandages on his head from that first half collision.
There was one of the many corners Moreton City Excelsior had. Declan Smith making contact, not in the right direction he would have hoped. This is the chance that Marquez Walters will think about.
Just the ball looked like it might have been bouncing a little bit for him there, and he just got under it.
And Kojima almost found Walters back on the inside. Kierpal was pushed into a shot converging by many Lions jerseys. Here was the chance from Lions late in the second half. Joe Scott almost saw Moreton City Excelsior level there.
It was a great chance, but you've got to give the credit to Cardiff Pond where it's due, as Skinner almost did it himself. Said, no, we're winning this one.
And this was the finale of what was a fantastic match. Matt Rye-Denton almost picking off a second goal for Lions FC.
This one could have easily finished like 3-4, 4-5, either way with the number of chances both of these sides created.
You have to feel for Moreton City Excelsior. Again, they miss out on that.
Hey, I know that guy in the background. Matt Mackay, Brisbane Roar legend. He's made no shortage of memories at this stadium. And it was just a remarkable game, very even, very end-to-end, and it was just a couple of moments that went Lions' way, and that is, by and large, how these games usually get decided, and it's just an unfortunate result for Moreton City and a very good result for Lions.
And when you take a look at the honour roll for Lions FC, that is their fourth championship, along with 2018, 2020 and 2021. They've been named premiers on 3 occasions, and they have the Pro Series and Kappa Queensland Cup to their name as well, which occurred in 2024. So a very, very successful year for Lions. And as I mentioned, the turnaround that took place from last season to now, quite remarkable. Another thing to mention, they made no new signings throughout 2024. A lot of clubs do cash in at halfway through the year to try and bolster their stocks, but Lions stuck with what they had. They lost Fletcher McDonald early on in 2024. They also lost Alex Fechner. Obviously that came much later, but they didn't see the need to add to their squad.
No, well, they've got a fairly good production line of youth players coming through as well. We saw Pranav Vallabh on the bench tonight, Nadir Nowry as well, and a couple of other really good young players. Dom Horwood is back from injury. There's just a lot of good players they have, and they trust the people that they've got at their disposal, and it does clearly pay dividends, showing trust in what is a very strong program out at Richlands.
Darren Syme now has three grand final wins under his belt, also a premiership in his tenure, took over in 2019.
There's Amy Gunston and members of the Lions women's team who, look, they had arguably the most heartbreaking of defeats earlier today, but you've got to give credit for getting out supporting a men's team. Katie Muscat there supporting Joe Duckworth. And there are the officials who, look, they can be a big talking point, but I think no complaints about their performance overall tonight.
No, as we mentioned from the top, it's a hard match to manage. A lot of pressure for the officials just as much as the players, and Tom Fell and crew did a fantastic job tonight.
And what could have been a couple of flashpoints got diffused very quickly, set the standard early. And again, we did that Pro Series Grand Final where things got out of control and the emotions did boil over. But this time, it was a very respectful game. Bit of heat to it, but yeah, it was overall a very strong performance. As he's already starting to disassemble the goals down the den end of the field.
Who stood out to you? Of course, Jackson Hart-Phillips with the goal, but who, in your eyes, set the standard?
Can I be really lazy and say Joe Duckworth? Just the way he kept that ticking over in the midfield, that metronomic passing. And let's also go for Cardiff Pond as well. A couple of big saves on the biggest stage that he's played on.
The game management from Lions, second to none, of course.
Yeah, they knew how to make it happen, and just those passes they were making at the end where it didn't have to be 100% on the ball. It just had to be good enough to get them as close to the sideline and just take those seconds off the clock, because they know how to work with it. When you're trying to chase a game down like Moreton City were, you're taking on two enemies, not just your opponent, but also the clock, which continues to take time off.
Gentlemen, we will now commence the presentation ceremony for our 2024 NPL Men's Grand Final. And joining me to help present the players with their medals and the trophy is Brisbane Roar CEO Kaz Patafta, Brisbane Roar legend and former Socceroo Matt Mackay, and Brisbane Roar Liberty A-League defender Chelsea Blissett, along with Football Queensland CEO Robert Cavalucci. What an incredible day of football we have witnessed, with 4 exciting grand finals played back-to-back on Queensland's biggest stage, Suncorp Stadium. And on behalf of Football Queensland, we would like to say thank you for your attendance. We hope you've had a great day, and thank you for your ongoing support of football in Queensland. We'd also like to acknowledge the players, coaches, volunteers and support staff from our NPL and FQPL1 clubs in Queensland as well, who make the season possible. Thank you to our volunteers and staff at every level of the game. It is safe to say 2024 has been one of the biggest years for football, not only in the state of Queensland, but around the entire country. And what a fitting end to a momentous year to see our state's best footballers run out on the world-class Suncorp Stadium pitch. We would like to also acknowledge today the achievements of our match officials who have officiated our grand final matches and whose appointments to this game is a testament to their hard work and high quality performances throughout the season. We not only thank today's match officials, but all our referees who have played such an integral role in the delivery of the 2024 season. For the NPL Men's Grand Final 2024, we would like to invite forward our match officials, referee Tom Fell, assistant referees James Sherry and Abdullah Al-Khamisi, and fourth official Ziad Ahmedovich. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me again in congratulating our grand final match officials for their work today and throughout the entire season. Now, unfortunately, in each grand final, there's always going to be a winner and a runner-up, but today's runners-up should be very, very proud of the fantastic display they put on, not only today, but also for the entirety of Australia. Moreton City Excelsior are in the middle of a dream Australia Cup run right now, knocking out A-League side Perth Glory to make a dream matchup happen with Melbourne Victory next week. They also reach the Kappa Queensland Cup final, and today are your NPL men's runners-up for 2024. Please welcome forward Moreton City Excelsior FC. Ladies and gentlemen, give it for our NPL men for runners. We wish them all the best in the Australia Cup. Moreton City Excelsior FC. And now to our 2024 NPL Men's Grand Final champions, Lions FC, who rounded out a fantastic season with today's standing display, qualifying for this grand final after beating the reigning champions and premiers Gold Coast Knights in the semis. They also finished 4th in the NPL regular season, made the round of 16 themselves in the Australia Cup, and it is their first time playing on Suncorp Stadium. And give a massive welcome as Ladies and gentlemen, as Lions FC receive their medals and their trophy, we would like to wish their captain, Joe Duckworth, number 10, your player of the match as voted by you, to come forward and say a few words.
Just wanted to say a big thank you to Football Queensland for giving everyone the opportunity to host the day at Suncorp Stadium. It's an unforgettable experience. Again, to Moreton City, Cam, Declan, your fan base, you're one hell of a team, man. You deserve everything. You'll have the full support of Queensland next week when you take on the Victory. Thank you for pushing us so hard this year. You're such a good team. I know you'll be back here soon. To our boys, no better response for your biggest rivals winning a treble last year to go 3 of ourselves. Wearing a Lions shirt or you in orange. This one's for you guys.
Thank you and congratulations once again to number 10, Joe Duckworth, the captain of Lions FC. And the captain will head over, winning team for NPL Men's Queensland 2020 and receive the trophy. His team. Ladies and for your NPL Men's Champions for 2024, Lions FC!
Lions are the 2024 National Premier League Queensland champions. Jackson Hart-Phillips the difference, scoring right on the stroke of halftime to give them the advantage. Congratulations to all sides who won today in the FQPL 1 men's and women's grand finals. Of course, the NPLW grand final taking place just prior. Plenty more still to unfold in the 2024 Football Queensland calendar. Queensland select side will play Brisbane Roar on Friday the 13th of September at Imperial Corp Stadium. FQPL 2 to 6 grand finals are also next weekend at Imperial Corp Stadium. And Queensland will play Victoria, both of the best of the NPL, on Saturday the 21st of September at Imperial Corp Stadium. Don't forget to get out to Perry Park next Saturday as well for Moreton City Excelsior against Melbourne Victory in the Australia Cup tie. And we just want to thank you for your company throughout the entirety of 2024 as the curtain falls on another National Premier League's Queensland season. Thank you to Double Take Sports for bringing this all together. It has been a fantastic ride as tonight saw Lions named champions for a 4th time. On behalf of everyone at Football Queensland, thank you and good night.